Hello friends, welcome to our channel. So in the previous sessions we have seen totally 3 algorithms related to the symmetric and asymmetric encryption. So DES algorithm, first we have seen the DES algorithm, data encryption standard, and then we have seen advanced encryption standard, AES algorithm, and RSA algorithm. So the first 2 algorithms will come under asymmetric encryption algorithms, and the next RSA algorithm comes under asymmetric key encryption. So the main theme of those algorithms is converting the plain text to ciphertext. So in this today's session, let us have a look on one more algorithm which is used to exchange the secret key between 2 users. So as we know, the symmetric encryption means whatever the keys we are using in the encryption process, the same keys should be used in decryption process. That means the secret key which we are using in the encryption process, we have to send securely to the receiver. So how this secret key is shared between 2 users in the symmetric encryption? The one way is by calculations we can generate the secret key at the sender side and the receiver side. That we call it as Defi-Hellman key exchange algorithm. So the name itself indicates key exchange. So exchanging the secret key between user, a sender and receiver. And for this exchange we will use the asymmetric key encryption. So Defi-Hellman key exchange algorithm is used to exchange the secret key between sender and receiver by using symmetric encryption techniques. Right. So in today's session, let's have a look on Defi-Hellman key exchange algorithm. So Defi-Hellman key exchange. This is also a very important algorithm. The first point we need to remember is this is not an encryption algorithm. It's not an encryption algorithm. Second point. This is used to exchange the key. Exchange secret or symmetric key between sender and receiver. And the third one is you make use of, and this will be happen with the use of symmetric encryption. So asymmetric encryption. That means in order to send the secret key, exchange the secret key between sender and receiver, we will use public key and private key. So by the calculations done on this public key and private key, we can generate the secret key at the sender side and as well as at the receiver side. Now let's move on to the algorithm, actual algorithm. So as in the RSA algorithm, here also first and foremost step is we have to consider a prime number. The first step. Assume prime number Q. prime number q or p, whatever it may be. Next, after assuming the prime number, select alpha such that alpha must be primitive root of p. Oh, sorry, q. Here we have considered it as a q, right? So alpha should be primitive root of q and alpha should be less than q. So two conditions to be satisfied. One, the alpha which we are selecting must be primitive root of q, and second one, it must be less than q. First, what is meant by primitive root and how to get this primitive root? So a mod p, let us consider a mod p. Oh, sorry. So a is primitive root of p if a mod p comma a square mod p comma a cube mod p comma and so on a power p minus 1 mod p gives the results 1, 2, 3 and so on p minus 1. So once again I am repeating, a is a primitive root of p if a mod p comma a square mod p comma a cube mod p and so on a power p minus 1 mod p should give the results 1, 2, 3 and so on p minus 1. So we have to get all the values from 1 to p minus 1. So the value should not be repeated in the result. So if this condition satisfies, we call a as a primitive root of p. Right? So I will explain you how to find the primitive root when we see the problem. Right? So first, assume the prime number q and select alpha such that alpha is a primitive root of q and alpha should be less than q. Then, hope you understood this primitive root, how to find the primitive root and what is exactly the primitive root. So if you see the example, you can get an idea of primitive root. Next, after selecting alpha, next, assume XA, which is a private key. So XA is a private key and it should be less than Q, and this is a condition. Again, we can consider any value. It is a random number, right? So it's a private key. Assume XA. Now calculate the public key. So XA refers to private key of user A. Private key of user A. Now calculate YA, which is public key of user B. YA is equal to alpha power XA mod Q. Next one, assume XB, so that XB is a private key of user B. private key of user B, and here also XB should be less than Q. This is the common constraint, right? Next, calculate YB, which is the public key of user B. That means YB is equal to alpha power XB mod Q. Now we had XA comma YA, which is public key and private key. So this refers to public key, private key, and this refers to public key. And here we had XB comma YB. This refers to private key of B, and this refers to public key of B. So after the four steps, we had a prime number and a primitive root and a public key and private key of A and a public key and private key of user B. Now the next step is key generation. So how to generate the secret key at the sender side and at the receiver side. So I will just erase this first two steps. I will write here Q is a prime, alpha is a primitive root, and alpha should be less than Q, right? Then now the key generation at user A and user B. This is the key generation. A side and B side. At the A side, so as we know, we are having both the public key and private key of user A and the public key and private key of user B. And we know that the public key will be available for all the users and the private key should not be shared. So that's why at the sender side A, the key generation K is equal to public key of B. So this will be available for user A also, right? YB power private key of A mod Q, right? So here YB, I am using the public key of receiver and the private key of user, sender. Here also secret key K is equal to public key of sender power private key of receiver mod Q. So this is the key generation, calculation of key generation. So K is equal to YB power XA mod Q. K is equal to YA power XB mod Q. Here YB is a public key of user B, so which is available in the network. And here YA is a public key of user A, which is available in the network. And XA is a private key which is not shared. So XA is used at the sender side itself. And XB is also a private key which is not shared. So XB is used at the receiver side itself. So finally we have to get the values of K at both user A and user B must be equal. So after calculating all these things, we should get both the K values equal. Then only we can say the exchange is successful. So as we said that in the symmetric encryption, whatever the key we are using at the encryption side, we have to use the same key at the decryption side. So here we are exchanging the key. So we are not exchanging the key, just we are generating the key on both the sender and receiver side. So which is getting an equal value by a simple calculations. So hope you understood this algorithm. First step, we have to select the prime number q, and then in the second step we have to find or assume the primitive root alpha, which is a primitive root of q, and it must be less than q. And then we have to assume the private key and calculate the public key of sender. And in the next step, we have to assume the private key of receiver and public key. We have to calculate the public key of the receiver. And by using this public key and private key of sender and receiver, we will generate the key at both sides, at the sender side and the receiver side. So here A means sender side. Here B means receiver side. Sender side and receiver side. So hope you understood this algorithm. Now let us have a look on a simple problem so that you can get a clarity about this primitive root, how to select that primitive root, and how this k will be equal. So without any sharing, only by generating, only by calculations, these both the k values will be equal. So let us start the example problem. So now let us see the example for RSA algorithm. So first I have to consider the prime number, which is q. Here I am considering q as 11, which is a prime number. Now in the second step I have to consider the alpha, which is a primitive root of q. So as I have said that if alpha is said to be a primitive root of q if alpha power 1 mod 11, alpha power 2 mod 11, and so on, alpha power 10 mod 11 gives the result from 1, 2, 3 and so on 10. That means all the numbers from 1 to q minus 1. So we have to get the result as all the numbers which are unique numbers. That means we should not be repeated. We have to get all the numbers, every number from 1 to q minus 1. So such number we call it as a primitive root. So in the second step we have to find the primitive root of q. So how to find this primitive root? See, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 and 10. Similarly 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 and 10. So this implies the number, so which we are selecting the primitive root, and this represents power. Here we have to find mod 11. So first consider the number 1. 1 power 1 mod 11, which is equal to 1. 1 power 2 means 1 square mod 11 is equal to 1. So for 1 we will get all the values as 1s. So this condition fails for 1 because there is a repetition and we didn't get any number other than 1. So 1 is not a primitive root of given number 11. Now consider 2. 2 power 1 mod 11, which is equal to 2. 2 square, that means a 4 mod 11, which is equal to 4. 2 cube. So 8 mod 11, which is equal to 8. 2 power 4, 16 mod 11, which is equal to 5. 2 power 5, 32 mod 11. So 32 mod 11. So that means 2s are 22. The remainder is 10. So here we get the 10. 2 power 6 means 64. 64 divided by 11. I mean 64 mod 11 means 5s are 55. The difference is 9. So remainder is 9. So the value will be 9. And 7s, 128, 2 power 7, 128 mod 11. So 11 ones are 11, and here we got 18. So again ones are 11, the difference is 7. So we got a 7, right? Next 2 power 8, that means 256 mod 11. So 11 2s are 22, 36, 3s are 33. The difference is 3. So the result is 3. Now 2 power 9, that means 512, which is we have to check 512 mod 11. That means 5 4s are 44, 72, 6 are 66. The difference is 6. So here we got 6. Next 2 power 10, which is equal to 1024 mod 11. So 11 1s, so 11 9s are 99, 34, 3s are 33. We got the difference 1. So 1 is the difference. So if you observe these values of number 2, we got each and every number from 1 to q minus 1. That means 1 from 1 to 10 without any repetition. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 and 10. So in such case, if we get this result, that means it satisfies the condition. So that implies 2 is a primitive root of 11. So if you find this 3 power 1 mod 7 mod 11, which is equal to 3, 3 square 9 mod 11, 9, 3 cube 27 mod 11. So 2 27 mod 11. So 2s are 22, which is equal to 5. 3 power 4, that means 81, 11. So 7s are 77, which implies a 4. So likewise, we can calculate the mod values for all the numbers from 1 to 10. So we may get more numbers which are primitive root of 11. So we may get 3 as a primitive root and 5 as a primitive root or 7 as a primitive root. So whatever the primitive roots we got, we can select one among all those things as alpha. So here I am selecting 2 as a primitive root. So I am not calculating all the values. So you can calculate all the values and you can find the primitive. First you can find the primitive roots of 11 and you can select one among those primitive roots as alpha. Here I am selecting 2 as primitive root because for 2 the power of 2 mod 11 gives the result from 1 to q minus 1, that means 10. Now, so after calculating or after finding the primitive root of 11, now select XA, that means private key, which is 8. So here the condition is it must be less than q. So I can select any number which is less than q, just assume. So XA, I have selected XA, which is equal to 8. Now I have to calculate the public key, YA, public key. So this is the private key. I have to calculate the YA public key, which is equal to alpha power XA mod q. So alpha is 2 power XA. So here XA is 2 power 8 mod 11. So this value we can observe from the previous table or we can find it. So 256 mod 11. So 2 power 8 is 256, right? Mod 11, 11 2s are 22 and 36, 3s are 33. So we got a 3. YA is equal to 3. And next, select XB, which is a private key. So this is a public key. Next, select XB, which is a private key of user B. I will select it as 4. Here also the condition is it must be less than Q. I will select 4 as a private key of user B. So this is a private key. Now I have to calculate public key. YB is equal to alpha power xa mod q. So which is alpha here 2 power 4 mod 11. So 2 power 4 means 16 mod 11. 16 mod 11 means yb is equal to 16 mod 11 means 5. Which is a public key. Right? So first I have selected A, XA, that means a private key of user A, which must be less than Q. We can select any number. I have selected 8 and I have calculated the public key using the formula alpha power XA mod Q. So I got the number 3 as a public key of user A. So let us write here user A, the public key is YA is equal to 3, XA is equal to 8. So this is the public, this is the private. Next, user B, YB is equal to 5, XB is equal to 4. Here it is a public, here it is a private. Now we have to calculate the secret key at both the sender side and receiver side. So this is the sender side. This is the receiver side. So that means here A, here B. So as we know that the public key is available as a public for all the users in the network. So A can know the public key of B and B can know the public key of A. Now here the formula I have written is K is equal to public key of B power private key of A, which is not shared, mod Q. Here also K is equal to public key of A power private key of B mod Q. So let us calculate YB. So YB is 5 power XA 8 mod 11, and here also YA 3 power XB 4 mod 11. So we have to calculate this and we should get the equal, K as equal. See here five power 8, calculate the 5 power 8, that means 5 square 25, 25 into 25 625. So 625 into 625. So we have to calculate the 625 into 625. So 5 2 5 2 is 10 12 2 1 5 6 30 31 2 5 is 10 2 5 12 6 5 is 30 6 2 is 12 15 6 36 31 sorry 36 37. So 5 2 6 0 1, so 9 3. So this is the value of this one. So 39 0 6 2 5 divided by 11. So 11 3s 33. So we got the value 60625, 5s 55, 5625, again 5s 55, 125, 1s are 11, 15, again 1s are 11, so 4. We got the 4 as a reminder. So 11 into 35511 will be the result 390621. the remainder is 4. So we got the remainder as 4. So just I have calculated the 5 power 8 mod 11. So I got the remainder as 4. So at the sender side, the key value is 4. And we should get the same value at the receiver side, because in the symmetric key encryption, as we discussed in the previous sessions, so symmetric key means whatever the key we are using at the encryption, the same key should be used at the decryption. So here, by using the public key and private keys, we are exchanging the secret key from sender and receiver, in between the sender and receiver. So here also 3 power 4, 9 nines are 81, so 81 mod 11. So 11 sevens are 77, automatically k is equal to 4, which is equal to the key value which we have calculated at the sender side. Right? So in such way we have to exchange the secret key just by doing the calculations and by using the public key and private key of sender and receiver. So I will give once again I will just give a brief overview. First we have to select the prime number q, and then in the next step we have to select the primitive root, so that the primitive root power of 1 to q minus 1 should give the results from 1 to the numbers from 1 to q minus 1 without any repetition. We have to get all the numbers, and then in the third step we have to select the private key of user A, and from that private key of user A we have to calculate the public key of user A by using this formula alpha power xa mod q, and then we will get the public key. Now user A, at the user side, at the user A we have the private key and the public key. Same you have to repeat for the user B. So that means assume or select the public key of private key of receiver, and based upon the private key of the receiver calculate the public key of the receiver YB. Now here also we got the public key and private key of user B. So after getting all those 4 keys, public key and private key of both user A and B, now at the sender side you have to generate the key, that means calculate the key. So k is equal to public key of B, which is available for all the users, by public key of B power private key of A, which is not shareable, mod q. And at the receiver side we use the formula public key of user A power private key of user B mod q. So if you calculate this key, we will get the same key, so which we call it as the symmetric key. The key is exchanged between sender and receiver for the secure, for symmetric encryption. So that's why we call it as key exchange algorithm. So once again I am repeating. So in the previous sessions we have seen the 3 algorithms. All the 3 algorithms are the encryption algorithms, that means conversion of plain text to ciphertext. And today's algorithm is not an encryption algorithm. This is just to exchange the secret key from sender to receiver. So in order to perform the symmetric key encryption. So this is also a very important algorithm. So hope you understood this algorithm, and if you are having any doubts regarding this Defi-Hellman key exchange, feel free to post your doubts in the comment section, so that I will definitely clarify your doubts. And if you like my videos, share my videos with your friends and subscribe to my channel. And thanks for watching. Thank you very much.